How's it going, everybody? It's Misha here to talk to you today about the movie Ashes. So Ashes is a horror movie that we have on EditStock. It has been to film festivals across the globe. It went to the Fright Fest in London and to Beyond Fest in Los Angeles. We've given it an expert difficulty rating, and it's a premium project. Just to tell you a little bit about the movie and why it's an expert project and really why it's a premium project, I want to start first by introducing one of the actors. You might have noticed the actor Alan Ruck. So Alan was also this guy, Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, more than 20 years ago. And now he's back in a movie in which he lights his mother on fire and shoots himself in the head with a shotgun, which is why we've given the movie an R rating. This movie is a lot of fun to edit, especially if you've never really had the opportunity to edit a movie with a really professional actor who's done lots of movies before. It's a different feeling as an editor when you have just like A caliber acting in your projects. You have a wealth of choices to pick from. You get a lot of reactions when they're not saying a line. They're just reacting to something going on in the environment. And they give you a pretty good range. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about that. Here's Alan acting right when he lights his mother on fire. This is called the actor business.
Can't believe it. No smile. No smile. It's just more like...
And you can hear the director say there, no smile, and how Alan adjusts his performance pretty seamlessly without taking his eye off the prize, without without needing to stop, which a lot of actors would do.
That was good. So
Pretty cool stuff. So, okay, let's get into why this is rated R. Obviously, you just saw Alan light his mother on fire. I think that's one pretty good reason to give it an R rating. Another one is because we have some pretty crazy practical effects, including a monster.
Diane, no! Diane, no!
Yeah.
Richard, yes!
Look at how cool that is. So we have that, and then this is probably my favorite of the insanity. Oh, I keep doing that. There we go. This is actually a squib as Alan's head. How cool is that? It's so cool. So you can see obviously the hose coming up through his shirt. That's throwing a little bit of the brain matter up against the wall. Here's another reason why we gave this movie an R rating, because he's lighting his mother on fire. These are really cool practical effects.
Richard, no.
Richard, no! Richard, no! Richard, no!
Beyond just the R rating, we also gave this movie an expert rating. And one of the reasons is it's kind of both an intermediate movie and an expert scene to cut. It's intermediate in the sense that in a lot of the scenes, there's only one actor. So that makes it a lot easier to cut. Like, for example, this is a oneer where, we come from Alan to this light dimming. So there's not a whole lot, apparently going on here. What makes it an expert scene is that you've got to read the script really carefully to hear that Richard, that's Alan's, the character's name, is hearing his mom call for him, and then we've got to know to just add a little bit of sound effects to the light right up here, just like some sort of something to call attention to it. And then we've got just these other little details that make it a little bit harder than an intermediate scene to cut. Like, for example, this is a dream sequence. And you would think during a dream sequence, you've got his wife in the background, and you've got Alan in the foreground. You know it's a dream sequence because it's just the way that it was shot. We're like a little soft.
I need some milk.
Camera's a little soft here. Focus. The focus is clearly on Alan. What you would normally, the way that I would normally cut this scene, if this were not a dream, I would intercut between her close-up and his close-up, and there is both of those camera angles. But an expert or like a more professional approach to this scene might be to know that since this is all going on in his head, we've got to kind of stay away from her close-up as much as possible. And you know that's one example, but there are a number of places where this gets a little tougher to do well than it looks on the outside. For example, this is a scare, and I'm just going to show you. So Richard walks into the room after his mother gets lit on fire, and he's gone to her funeral and all that, and now he's come back to sort of look at what he's done. And you know, the ghost of his mother is in the room. So, you know, there she is, right? She's behind this curtain. And I've seen this cut where that was it. That was all that the editor did. They just showed this shot. There's no music, there's no sound effects, there's nothing. But in a horror movie, music and sound effects are an enormous part of the scare itself. So here, we should feel a really shocking scare. And it's up to the editor to know that this moment calls for that. So it's, you know, when I used to give movies expert ratings, it was mostly because I was giving you a lot of footage, or there were a lot of people in the room, making it complicated to cut back and forth between the people. But now I'm starting to factor in, how difficult is it to make this cut a success? How difficult is it to realize what the director's vision is or what the scene calls for? So here, in the final movie, we get a lot more dramatic piece. I'll just jump forward here real quick to how the editor put this together.
Richard, no!
Right? And she's gone now. So you've got to know how to put that together, which makes it a little bit more challenging. The premium version, 2 hours and a half of footage. You get every single camera angle. You get a few less takes from each camera angle. Just going to pick a random scene here. How about scene 2? Notice that we have a lot of footage in the scene. We go all the way up through the L camera setup, but we only get 2 camera takes of each camera angle. And I do that on purpose, for one, just to kind of not overwhelm you, because, you know, 4 full-time days to edit this project is a lot for anyone. The educational version, though, does include all of the takes. And, you know, does it make a difference? Yeah, of course, it's better to have all the takes, but you get everything that's in the final movie in the premium, and you should be more than satisfied with how much work there is to do. Other bonus content with this project that you get all the score to the movie. This is the official score. Whenever possible, EditStock reaches out to the composers of these movies, and we license the actual score that was used in the movie from them, so that you get to put that in yours. Another fun thing about the Ashes project that's different than a lot of the other projects on EditStock, this is a complete short film. There are 17 scenes in this movie. You get all of them, and it allows you the opportunity to rearrange scenes, to take scenes out, to make one longer or shorter, or move things around, as opposed to some of the other projects on EditStock, like a commercial, for example, that really just might be one scene or might take place in one location. You have a lot more variety. I just want to leave you with one final thing, which is that if you've never cut a horror movie, they are a lot of fun. You really get to, almost more than any other genre, manipulate the audience's reactions. I don't watch horror movies in my personal life, but I have worked on a couple of horror movies in the professional world. I worked on a on a movie called Where, and I worked on a TV show called American Horror Story. I gotta say that when I first watched American Horror Story, I watched it on a laptop with the lights on, just the pilot, and it just, everything about it just scared me. It was pretty intense. But then when I started watching the dailies to it and sort of working my way up to understanding how it works and how you can really manipulate an audience, I grew just an enormous appreciation for it. There's a lot of suggestive editing that the editor puts in. A lot of spots where the audience has to make up what's going on in their mind, and that happens because you build suspense by not showing them what's around the corner, or showing them what's around the corner all of a sudden in a shocking and quick way. And that is a skill well worth developing. So enjoy Ashes.